Hi, Trisha. This is Mark. Hey, I wanted to give you a little feedback on your resume, and I thought perhaps one of the best ways to do that would be to just walk and talk through your resume and I'll just share with you the thoughts that I have and make a few suggestions. And then we can keep tossing your resume back and forth if you'd like. All right, here we go. The overall design, I think, is unique, and I would love to be able to keep the design the way it is. I think we'll do some things with changing font style to help the readability of it just a bit. All right, let's start at the very top. Got your name, perfect. Right here, elementary school teacher, this part right here, that's going to actually get switched out to your leadership objective. Uh, Looking for a position where blah, 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 blah. And there's examples of those in some of the sample resumes that you have. Your professional profile, what a perfect way to open your resume, because in just a few short sentences, I'm able to get an essence of who you are as a leader and what you stand for. So here I am, a highly qualified teacher who's passionate about all students growing academically and emotionally, expert in using data to help guide differentiated instruction, and am collaborative and creative in my approach when teaching and leading staff, parents, and students. All right, we're going to take a look at this and know that this is your leadership resume. So instead of using the word teacher, we'll use educator instead. Also, the overuse of I, we need to be careful of that. I think there's some things that you can do to uh, do some sentence combining and still come across with the message that you want to communicate. The significance of this paragraph right here on your professional portfolio is that you're highlighting key words about what you value as a leader. Now, since you've done that, and maybe these are the right words, and maybe you might want to change them out for something else, especially since as you work on your leadership platform. But here we have qualified, expert, guide, collaborative, creative, leading. Those are some key words. Now, as someone who's going to read through your resume, if that is your opening paragraph, so to speak, then everything that follows in this resume ought to be artifacts, examples, evidence of your keywords that you put in your professional profile. Okay, we're going to lead here, not with teaching experience, but with leadership experience. But for right now, we'll go through it and look at it from a teacher perspective for right now. All right, so I'm reading through this. 100 students come to my classroom daily for reading interventions, and I use data. I meet with the teachers weekly. I oversee 3 aides and help with their scheduling. All right, this is, again, contains the right information. We're going to frame it up differently. So each of your bullet points will start with an action verb. So here it could be provide reading intervention instruction for over 100 students in my classroom. In the second sentence, let's see here, drive my instruction and differentiate guideline to meet individual goals of each student. You could say drive instruction and differentiated guided reading uh, uh, by the use of data, something like that. All right, and I think you're getting the pattern here with these bullet statements. They need to start with an action verb. That's key point number one. Key point number two, Trisha, is that in each one of those bullet statements, we want to have, I want to know to what purpose, to what end, uh, what result did you gain by the action that you took. So here in the second bullet, to meet individual goals of each student, that is perfect. It says, it gives the result or the reason or the outcome for the action that you took. I trust that that makes sense. And as you play with this, again, you and I can dialogue back and forth about the, the proper language, if you will, for each of these. All right, I'm just going to keep reading down through here. MTSS committee. That's a powerful, that probably is going to go in under leadership experience, although you are doing it as a teacher. Once a month, I meet with a committee of teachers and administrators discussing ways to enhance our universal access time for students. So here it could be meet, it could be facilitate a committee of teachers and administrators. And again, here you give the reason, the outcome to discuss new ways to enhance our universal access time for students. Very nice. Data talk coordinator. Let me see what this one's all about. Here, bi-weekly, my administrator and I meet with different grade level teams to discuss different points of data. We discuss on, good. Again, we're going to lead each of these bullet statements with an action verb. Again, it could be meet, it could be focus, it could be discuss, it could be collaborate. Uh, yes, and by doing that, you'll also be able to do, Trisha, is avoid the overuse of I. Yes, it is true that this is you that's doing this, and we just want to be careful if it doesn't come out off as braggadocious, if you will. All right, as I'm looking at the first page right here, the side here on the left, all this information over here, I like it. It differentiates, gives me some different things to read. I think what we try this, experiment with this, Trisha, on this section right here called teaching experience. I know it's in Fanwood, so I can't remember if it's serif or sans serif, whichever ones have got the curl and the little mark maybe at the end of letters. But we want to go to something for these headings, these subject headings right here, something that's more straightforward looking. Here, I'm going to change it so you see what I mean. I'm going to change it to Calibri. All right, and you can see the difference in this style of font compared to the font that you use down here, which is Lato Light or kind of Times New Roman. By differentiating the type font that we use, the style of font, it breaks up the paper and makes it easier to read. All right, I'm going to flip down through here to the second page. Good, this leadership team, leadership academy, advisory committee. I think this is all wonderful things that you could put, but just we'll put it under the category of not teaching experience, but leadership experience. All right, I'm going to leave you right there with those suggestions and those thoughts. Oh, this captures my attention right here. Core competencies. Trisha, this is awesome. Curriculum development, student involvement, brain-based learning, family involvement, individual learning plans, instructional strategies, data-driven instruction. Okay, we're going to take a look at these together. And what I'm thinking is these core competencies, we could call them leadership competencies, we could call them leadership skills or traits, and those are going to go up here after professional profile. They'll go professional profile, then we'll bullet maybe in two little columns uh, those leadership characteristics or competencies. So think about if you were to name 6, 7 of what your leadership uh, characteristics are. Are you a collaborator? Are you a strategic thinker? Are you a motivator? Those kind of words. All right. Well, I hope that hopefully, Trisha, I've given you some more guidance, if you will, some refinements that you can do on this resume. Why don't you go ahead, take it, work it as you need to, flip it right back to me as soon as you can, and we'll just keep the dialogue. All right. Great first effort. Thanks, Trisha.